Okay, so the NFL has some rule changes that they've proposed, and they're going to be controversial. The first that we'll get into is this kickoff. Because the NFL wants to get more scoring into the games, although I think there's plenty of scoring as it is.
Well, I think it's more excitement than anything else because every time there was a kickoff, it was like nobody was paying attention because it was a touchback.
Right, because they changed the rules.
Yeah.
Instead of just going back to the old rules, but they don't want to go back to the old rules because they'll say player safety concerns. So what they've done is change it completely and to take a page out of the XFL's playbook, which is strange that that's where they're going, but they're going. Look, get ideas when you get them, right?
You can go to Ford Field next week and check it out when the Panthers are home.
With the USFL and their merger.
The UFL. Right?
Yes. So the rule now is that you kick off from your 35-yard line. However, the guys that are on the kickoff coverage team are lined up 25 yards in front of you. They are at the 40-yard line of the opposition. Mm-hmm. The kick return unit, their players are lined up 5 yards in front of them.
At the 35.
At the 35-yard line. You have a kick returner who is in a designated zone, which I believe is between the goal line and the 15 or something. So the kick happens and you can't move on either side until the ball is received. So what it does is it prevents people from building up that head of steam of running 40 yards before contact, and they can't get going until the guy receives the ball in the first place. So it should, in theory, reduce the number of injuries. If the ball is kicked into the end zone, team gets the ball at the 30-yard line if there's a touchback. So they're trying to increase the number of returns, increase the excitement, and probably increase the number of scoring. I bet you there's going to be more kickoff returns for touchdowns because there were no returns for touchdowns hardly anyway. Does it make the game better? That's a question you have to ask yourself. Another rule that they've changed, and this one's interesting to me because the Player Association is against this. Players don't want this one. Yet the NFL pushed it through unanimously. And I'm not sure how that works, but that's how it worked. And that's this hip drop, swivel technique tackle that we've seen over the last couple of years has been all the rage in a bad way. Because when players get hurt, it's because of this tackle. When the players get caught kind of from the side and then they turn their hips and drag the guy down, a lot of times the legs get caught underneath them and you'll see ankle injuries or muscle injuries or knee injuries, and it's really too bad. I understand why they want to get rid of it because of safety reasons.
Right.
But if the players are against getting rid of this rule,
it's the safety for them.
And they don't want it.
Oh, wait a second. We care so much about safety, so we've already added one extra game.
Right.
And you know they're going to add another game.
Of course.
There, come on.
There's hypocrisy all over the place, right? So I've already gone past for the safety thing, right?
Yeah.
Does it make the game better? Obviously, having fewer injuries is going to make the game better, so you have the players get to stay healthy. And yes, star players get hurt, and you don't want to see that happen. But I find it really interesting that players don't want this rule. There were a number of defensive players, including DJ Reader, new Detroit Lion, who was against this. Darius Slay is against this. Other players have said, great, so there's no more tackling in tackling. Awesome. You've just legislated completely out of the league. No, it's not completely gone. It's just this one play. And the play is subject to review after the fact, where, we heard John Jansen talking this morning in between laughter fits, that you're going to get that FedEx envelope in the mail a couple days after the game and alerting you that you've been fined, $20,000 because of an illegal hit, because that's what's going to happen now. This is subject to fines and or suspensions.
Right. The kickoff, I like it because the kickoff return, one of the most exciting plays in football, is basically eliminated from the game for whatever reason you want to think. Whether it's safety issue, that to me is the only reason they even did it. Kickers are so good now, many of them can still do touchbacks anyway. So it's not going to, I don't think there's going to be as many, there'll be more returns, obviously, but there's still going to be tons of touchbacks.